he sustained an injury on one of his
Well,
fingers.
objection, hearsay.
Huh?
Wait, you asked the question.
Oh,
Next question.
okay. You said he sustained an injury to his finger.
Yes.
Sitting here today, Ms. Heard, you still haven't donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity. Isn't that right?
Incorrect.
Amber published the op-ed. Headline, Johnny Depp allegedly showed up drunk to movie premiere, reports say. Did I read that
Allegedly,
correctly?
reports say. This is hearsay. is
June
it not?
21st, 2018.
What was the photograph of Mr. Depp?
It was a photograph of the bed, our bed, and on my side of the bed was human fecal matter. So I understood why it wasn't a good time to go down there.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about what appears to be a win for men in this country, right? A rare W when it comes to a man's word versus a woman's word in the court of law, as Johnny Depp has won his defamation case against Amber Heard. Now, I know I haven't really talked much about this trial, and the reason why is because, guys, it's just been so long, and there's just so much stuff that was said, okay, during this trial, that quite honestly, I felt like there was more pertinent news to cover, but I have been keeping up with it because I knew that at some point they would come to a verdict and I would need to talk about it. Again, as this does have implications for men's rights in this country, okay? Something that, you know, I'm very passionate about, right? If you guys haven't noticed. And Amber Heard is reacting to her L here in a way that should not be shocking to anybody, right? She's playing the victim card, even though she's not really the victim here as much as Johnny Depp was the victim of her defamation, right? Lying and smearing this guy, right? Accusing him of abuse, okay? Just to make him look bad, right? To ruin his career, right? As she's come out here right after losing and says, I'm humiliated, and also claims that this is a setback for women, right? So let's read about this because I find this to be hilarious. After a brutal 6-week defamation trial, the jury ultimately decided Wednesday that Amber Heard defamed Johnny Depp on 3 counts after deliberating for just 13 hours. The jury awarded Depp $10 million in compensatory damages and $5 million in punitive damages. Virginia law states that punitive damages must be capped at $350,000, meaning Depp will actually receive a maximum total of $10.35 million. Heard was awarded $2 million in compensatory damages and no punitive damages. So technically, the jury found them both guilty of defamation. Okay. However, Amber Heard defamed Johnny Depp a lot more than he defamed her, right? So therefore, he's gonna win more money in this case. Quote, the disappointment I feel today is beyond words. Heard's team told the Post in a statement, quote, I'm heartbroken that the mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband. Quote, I am more disappointed with what this verdict means for other women. It is a setback. It sets back the clock to a time when women who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated. It sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously. Heard's statement continues. I believe Johnny's attorneys succeeded in getting the jury to overlook the key issue of freedom of speech and ignore evidence that was so conclusive that we won in the UK. All right, so I find this to be interesting, right? She's trying to make this a free speech issue. Okay, essentially saying that she has the right to lie about a man in pursuit of trying to ruin his career, which is not protected under freedom of speech, right? And these are the same people that will come out here and say that freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from consequences. She has the freedom of speech to say what she wants. If she wants to lie on her ex-husband about abuse, then hey, you can do that. But that doesn't mean that you don't face the consequences for it. It's funny how when these people's words come back to bite them in the butt, how all of a sudden they don't really support these things anymore, right? It's really funny how that works. Now, it is true that Johnny Depp lost a libel case against a British newspaper in a court in London in 2020, as a judge ruled that it is substantially true that he is in fact a wife beater, okay? But this case is a little bit different, okay? Because Johnny Depp is suing over some very, very specific statements that Amber Heard made back in 2016 to the Washington Post, in which she claimed to be a victim of domestic abuse, right? Now, he's suing her for 3 parts of the article. One part that says that she spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. And then another part when Heard claimed that she was a public figure representing domestic abuse, and that she had a rare vantage point of seeing how institutions protect men accused of abuse, right? So he's saying that those statements are defamatory, okay? And basically all that had to happen was that, the jury had to believe that, Johnny Depp actually abused her, okay? And that would make her statements true in order for her to win. But apparently they did not believe that. So much for believe all women, right? And what Amber Heard is suing Johnny Depp over is Johnny Depp's lawyer basically calling some statements that she made to the Daily Mail hoaxes, right? In 2020, in which they argue that Heard used her allegations of violence and abuse as a sword and a shield, basically saying that her and her friends had doctored up their place, basically spilled wine, roughed up the place, and got their stories together with the help of their publicists and their lawyers, and then called 911 in order to make it look like that Johnny Depp had abused her, okay? And they're saying that she set up that elaborate hoax, okay? But Amber Heard is saying that statement, that it was a hoax, that whole situation is defamatory, right? I hope you guys kind of understand that. A lot of stuff in this trial is very complex and complicated. Again, she's trying to make this a freedom of speech issue. And I'm like, okay, well, if you really believe that, then why did you countersue, right? Why did you sue Johnny Depp back for defaming you if you really believe in freedom of speech, right? Obviously, you don't believe in freedom of speech because you tried to stop this man's freedom of speech because you sued this man for his freedom of speech to basically defame you, right? Again, these people don't like to play by their own rules, right? They really don't. They simply want what they want, and she's simply upset that she lost, right? That she simply can't just lie on a man to try to ruin his career and think that she can get away with it. Quote, "I'm sad I lost this case," Heard's statement concluded, but I'm sadder that I seem to have lost a right I thought I had as American to speak freely and openly. Again, you have that right. That just doesn't mean that you can't face consequences for it. Again, nobody's trying to stop you from saying what you're saying, but again, what you're saying is defamation, okay? You got to understand that, right? You don't have the right to, again, lie about people to ruin their career. Depp, 58, sued his ex-wife, Heard, for $50 million after she penned a Washington Post op-ed claiming her ex abused her. While she never named Depp, he claimed the essay damaged his career and potential earnings. Heard then countersued for $100 million for saying her abuse claims were falsified. The jury ultimately found that while Heard was guilty on all claims of defamation, Depp only defamed his ex once when Adam Waldman told the Daily Mail Heard set Depp up in a hoax when police visited their apartment in 2016. Yeah, again, so I want y'all to understand that the jury basically found that both of these two parties defamed each other. Okay, that Amber defamed Johnny by basically claiming that he's a domestic abuser. Now, during the trial, there was all types of evidence submitted, right, from Amber's side to suggest that Johnny was an abuser, but no real definitive proof. I mean, she had photographs, but Johnny Depp's team, their expert photographer said they could have been faked. Her team obviously is saying that they're authentic. There's accounts of, Johnny Depp getting super drunk and being on drugs and raging all over the place. I mean, there's all types of text messages and stuff like that too that basically show that he was threatening her life and stuff like that. Okay, right? I definitely believe that. but there was no real like definitive evidence that he actually really abused her. But there's definitely a lot more evidence that she abused him. Okay, basically hitting him with a wine bottle, severing the tip of his finger. Okay, which they have pictures of. Okay, there's all types of crazy stuff that she did, right? That they have proof of, right? That suggests that she was the one that was actually really the abuser in this situation. Okay, which again, this is why this is a win for men's rights, because men who go through this type of abuse, they don't really get that day in court, because it is expected, right? The feminists expect men to just take it, right? And that women just have the right to just put their hands on men and do whatever they want. But if you hit a woman back, right, if you respond, then you are a abuser, right? So in this case right here, we have a man that is actually winning against a woman who abused him. And hopefully there are more stories about men who go through this type of abuse, which there are a lot of men in this country that do. They just don't really say anything about it because, again, as men, we are expected not to say anything about it. We're expected to just take it, okay? But, you know, hey, this could change that dynamic. Who knows? This is a big kind of cultural trial here. In the courtroom, Depp's team of attorneys shook hands and celebrated despite the star's absence. Quote, due to previously scheduled work commitments made before the trial, Mr. Depp will not be physically present for today's 3 p.m. verdict and will be watching from the United Kingdom, a source told the Post today, while Heard's team slammed the Pirates of the Caribbean star. Quote, your presence shows where your priorities are. Johnny Depp plays guitar in the UK while Amber Heard waits for a verdict in Virginia. A representative for Heard, who was present in court, told the Post, a nod to a surprise rock show Depp played in England with Jeff Beck over the weekend. Depp is taking his snickering and lack of seriousness on tour. So she's mad because this man is trying to get away from all this nonsense, okay? Falsely accuses this man of being an abuser, right? I would try to get away from it as well, too, okay? Yet the pro-Depp verdict comes after weeks of countless fans flocking in hordes to the courthouse, showing support for Depp and sneering at Heard as the two battle out their high-profile case. Following the verdict announcement, Depp released a lengthy statement of gratitude, saying he was humbled by the jury's decision. Quote, the jury gave me my life back, his statement read. The best is yet to come, and a new chapter has finally begun. Veritas non quam perit, truth never perishes. Yeah, congratulations, my guy, Johnny Depp. I might go watch a Pirates of the Caribbean movie in celebration of my guy's victory, okay? But I will say, if the allegations of drug and alcohol abuse are true, if this man actually really does have anger issues, you know, if the things that Amber Heard said are true in regards to his behavior while he was under influence, that is something that he needs to address, okay? Even though that happened years ago, he does need to address that, because that is how a lot of men get in trouble. But hey, you know, at least in this case, the jury did not believe that Johnny Depp was actually a domestic abuser, which is why they found Amber Heard guilty of defamation for basically saying that he was in a Washington Post article that was meant to harm his career. Again, a win for men's rights. And the only setback this is when it comes to women are for women who actually have real claims of abuse. Okay, the women that actually go through this stuff, they're the ones that are being set back by this, right? Because this person made what the jury believes to be false allegations. If you want to talk about what is a setback for women, her making those statements are a setback for women, right? At least making those statements without definitive proof that those statements are true. Hopefully, this will teach women a lesson about trying to lie on men, whether it comes to, you know, situations like this of allegations of abuse, or when it comes to, you know, things like Me Too, okay, in which we see a whole lot of women try to ruin men's lives over consensual encounters, right? Which is a big problem in our culture. A culture that has historically sided with women when it comes to these types of cases, okay? So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.